Color Me Bloody MMA podcast featuring Mike Turpin and Alex Perry.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Color Me Bloody MMA podcast. I'm your host, Mike Turpin. Next to me in studio, aka my bedroom, Alex Perry. Yo, AP, what up?
Hey.
Man, we were setting the mood here pretty good for a little while. He came in and it was dark. I was playing some videos for him and getting things a little warmed up. But
it's definitely a creepy dungeon in here when I first come in, like just a vampire's evil, creepy sex lair.
Yep.
I don't know what the deal is, but we got some light in here, so I'm not going to be sexually assaulted. I feel
no, even with my background of Steve Zahn.
Yeah, you love that guy. You and your girlfriend.
Yes, it's me, my girlfriend, pasted on a picture of Steve Zahn. That is the background of my computer, and yeah. So, okay, cool. There were fights last night. We're going to talk about that. There was Fight Night, Bader versus St Preux. Also, we're going to go ahead and cover Fight Night, Henderson dos Anjos, Fight Night, Bisping Lee, and we're going to go ahead and talk a couple news things, not too much because we have all those cards to cover. And we've been trying to keep the episodes a little bit shorter. When we were doing ones that were closer to like hour 45, people were like, we kind of like the hour format. So we're trying to keep stuff in that kind of bubble. So let's go ahead and get started. Unless there's anything else you want to say before we get kicked off.
Nah, man.
You good?
Jump
I'm good.
Right in. Head
Let's do
first. Bam.
Let's go ahead and talk about last night's fight card, Bader versus St Preux. Okay, so I watched everything.
I watched pretty much everything except for like the opening fight.
Yeah, that wasn't necessarily. All right, I'll say this. I don't think the fights were terrible, and I don't think the decisions were like terrible fights.
No, the judges did a pretty good job.
Yeah, well, no, I mean just in general, I don't think. They were,
you
like,
thought
bad
the decision fights
fights
weren't bad fights? All right.
Yeah, they weren't bad.
A few were.
The Alvey Watson had a couple parts where it looked like Alvey might be able to finish Watson, but
that's the kind of fight that's just going to piss you off because you can't wait to fight until the third round.
I know. Yeah, exactly. So,
but we'll go through them, I guess. I mean, I didn't watch the very first fight. Did you?
Yes, I did, but
right.
It doesn't really matter. Nobody. Yeah, Frankie Sands won. He beat Nolan.
Tickman. All right.
Yeah, 30-27.
So
pretty handily.
Alvey Watson was next, and Watson, he just stalked him down, and he outstruck him because of the pressure. And Alvey was just way too tentative. He didn't throw anything. It seemed like he was waiting to counter, and then after a while, it just seemed like he had some octagon jitters, or he was too tentative, or he just wouldn't get off. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he had one point where he had a few blitzes in the second round, like towards the end, but it didn't amount to much. It's not like he hurt Watson, but in the third round, I mean, Alvey was getting off, man. In the clinch from distance, it didn't matter, and he was throwing some heat, and he had Watson hurt up against the cage. I thought he was going to finish the fight.
Yeah.
He opened up a few cuts.
He should have, man. He should have been able to do something. I can't believe it. But then, once you realize Watson wasn't even, damaged, did you see kind of when Watson, kind of came back out of that and was throwing back a little bit?
He was. I think it rocked him a little bit, and it did open up a cut and put a lump on him, I believe. But
yeah, I don't know if he was that. I mean, I don't know if he was that, ready to be, dropped. But the ref could have came in there and split him up.
Yeah. He could have.
One of the only, I don't want to say the only intelligent John Anik things. I don't necessarily, I actually didn't watch the main card with commentary because I was out watching it at a bar. But when I watched the prelims this morning, he was saying if Sam Alvey was just to calm down, he could sneak in an uppercut in there. At first, it was a little ironic because Alvey did throw an uppercut, but yeah, he probably could have landed with an uppercut if he was a little smarter, and it probably could have put him out. That's one of those things. Alvey's going to be watching that and thinking, damn, if only I had put together a combo or went body or, mixed it up, threw an uppercut, I probably could have got the finish there. But it's too little too late, probably not enough on him. Both guys are kind of slippery. Punches aren't sticking as much, maybe. I'm not sure what it is. You've gotten rattled a little. You know how hard it is to knock somebody out in the third round.
Yeah.
If they're not exhausted, typically it's an exhaustion TKO late in the fight. It's very hard for you to connect flush on a guy who's been taking jabs and crosses and maybe like a big power shot all night. And then all of a sudden you are expect to knock him unconscious later in the fight. Usually it's in a matter of exhaustion.
Right.
Do you agree there?
No, I do.
Yeah.
Did you see who was in his corner?
Whose corner?
Sam Alvey.
No.
So Sam's one of these guys that has his girlfriend in his corner.
No.
Now, we've seen that before, most notably, say, Brian Caraway, Misha Tate.
Yeah, but
well,
that's
guess
not
what?
the same thing.
Misha Tate's a fighter, oftentimes a
Yeah.
top contender. This girl won America's Next Top Model one of the seasons. She's a very pretty girl. And it's Sam Alvey. I'm sorry, it's not his girlfriend, it's his wife.
Okay.
She's in the corner. She's giving him instruction. Like, she's the person that's in front of his face giving him instruction.
No.
She doesn't train with him. Like, nothing. She
Was
doesn't
it
train
bad?
with
Was
him.
it
She
bad
doesn't
instruction? I mean, did she know what she was saying? Did it sound right?
It wasn't the worst, but it was like, you could tell it might be something she's repeated
Did
before.
she kiss him?
No, she
Wouldn't
didn't
that be
kiss him.
funny? I love you, baby, and like giving him like a kiss and stuff. And
Yeah, I just think that stuff is ill-advised. Like, probably don't do that.
yeah,
But,
I don't know.
you know.
I mean, there are people who've had like their father, their brother in like their corner, and you can tell that person is not quite as into MMA.
Right.
Like people who've had their dad who comes from like a traditional martial arts background.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm listening to it, and I can't think of a specific example. I know Darren Cruikshank is one that his dad is like his trainer, but that's not the example I'm thinking of. There are other people whose dads are in their corner, and you can tell they are very hung up on the one martial art that they are very familiar with, and
Sure.
don't have like the good MMA strategy, in the way that a lot of
It depends on
cornermen
what
do.
they get out of it. You know what I mean? If it
Yeah.
really pumps them up and gets them going mentally, that's one thing, but I don't know. All in all, I don't think it's a great idea. I mean, Weidman's dad is oftentimes in his corner.
Yeah.
And he's not a martial arts guy. It's just his dad.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, anyway. What was next?
Yeah, okay.
Chick fight?
Sarah McMahon beat Lauren Murphy, split decision. Yeah. I didn't watch all of this one.
McMahon took her down and held her down.
Yeah.
All
they
three
were
rounds.
close. First and third round were, I think first and second round. How did people have it? Okay, no, Murphy won the third round. McMahon won the second round. First round was a coin flip.
I thought McMahon won the first round.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just the way that, like, that's how everyone had Sarah McMahon 29-28. Or no. She won via split decision, and that's what it was. It was the first round and the third
Yeah.
round.
Well, he says everyone. We're talking about the guys on SureDog that.
No. Okay, dude, I'm reading
You're reading the result.
the result.
Okay.
29-28, 29-28, 28-29. She won via split decision.
Uh-huh.
And also on SureDog, Jeff Sherwood, half creator of SureDog, Jeff Sherwood. That is not a fact for sure. Chris Nell Dog scored it 10-9
Chris Nell
McMahon,
Dog.
and Jeff Sherwood had it 10-9.
I believe
Murphy.
Jeff Sherwood is actually, if not fully, at least a co-founder of SureDog.
Okay, I believe it.
He really
but-
is.
Okay, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, Sarah McMahon won. You want to say anything else about it? We got more to cover, so.
Not really. I wish she would open up more with her striking, because I think it's actually not that bad. And,
Can we say that neither one of these is going to be getting back? Like, Sarah McMahon's probably not going to be getting back to title contention too soon.
it's hard to say, that division's kind of screwy. It's not like it's that deep. Women's bantamweight.
I want to see some more of the women from the Ultimate Fighter fight again. Like, I know we've had to see
Yeah.
the model chick who's tall and thin, Jessamine Duke.
Yeah, she's terrible.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely.
Pena's coming back pretty soon.
What
She's
about-
almost fully healed.
What about the one who's going down to
winner.
the new division who lost to Pena in the finals? Jessica Rakowski. Is that her name?
Rakosi, yeah.
Rakosi.
Is she dropping down?
Yeah, I mean, that was
Really?
her original weight class. I'd imagine she's dropping
Oh,
down.
okay.
But she hasn't fought, I don't think.
Yeah.
She was a great striker, too.
Oh, yeah. I think she had some pro boxing experience.
Yeah.
It's whatever. I mean, Holly Holm's coming in, who knows what's going to happen with Cyborg. Pena is on the mend. She's almost fully healed. So, there'll be some new blood. I wouldn't mind seeing McMahon get another shot. I thought it was an early stoppage, and she was winning on the feet against Ronda Rousey in their title fight. But whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Jussier Formiga defeated Zach Makovsky.
That was surprising.
Decision. Yeah, Formiga came out in the first 2 rounds. I believe just a lot of groundwork. He would either I don't want to misquote and say this one I didn't watch as closely, but I knew it was going on.
Well, he out-wrestled Makovsky more often than not, and it was really surprising to me. I predicted Makovsky to win this fight probably by decision, by outboxing and out-wrestling the guy. And that just wasn't the case. I mean, his boxing looked okay at times, but Formiga was more varied with his striking, throwing a lot of flashy kicks and whatnot. And when they get in wrestling exchanges or in the clinch, more often than not, Formiga will come out on top. Now, a lot of it was because of his good hips and his jiu-jitsu ability, and he would take the back. I mean, he's excellent at that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was surprising. He pretty much out-wrestled Makovsky. And Makovsky gave up his back way too much. And he did good at defending the rear naked choke, which is like Formiga's bread and butter. But, I mean, what's that say? You're still losing the fight. And he loses a decision, and Formiga looked good.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, I mean, in the third round, it was, started coming back, but it was a little too late. Next up, we had Thiago Tavares got a rear naked choke on Robbie Peralta. Peralta really didn't have time to do much here, right?
No, he just got mauled. He got mauled by the bigger and stronger man. Tavares has always been a big 155er,
Yeah.
And he's got great jiu-jitsu.
That was another quote I heard that was so dumb. Like, look, I'm going to tell you right now, when you have 2 guys in the ring, the cage that weigh the same, it's so hard to say. Somebody said, Thiago Tavares doesn't look like he lost any size in his drop from 155. And I'm thinking, bullshit. Like, how do you know that? Like, he's up against the guy who's at least 10 pounds lighter or approximately 10 pounds lighter than his previous opponents. Why don't you see him go ahead and fight, a lightweight or something and see if he actually didn't lose size? Like, it's very difficult to tell. When you're looking at 135ers fighting each other, and then you're looking at 155ers fighting each other, it's not that obvious unless, like, you use, like, the ref as a reference point. But sometimes it's not that easy to tell the difference in size, right?
Tavares is a thickly muscled guy. That was Florian that said that, I think, and I think it was just an off-the-cuff thing he said because the guy looked muscular.
I don't mean to, like, take something out of context or blow something out of proportion, but it's funny. You hear that a lot.
Yeah, he did.
The guy lost some size. He lost some weight.
And he's getting older. Yeah, for sure. He's getting a little older, and when I saw him step on that scale, I was thinking, as soon as this guy takes his shirt off, he's going to look terrible. He's going to look dehydrated. His muscles are just going to be nasty. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it like striated? Or am I looking for something else?
Oh, what do you mean?
Like when if you have a really bad weight cut and your muscles look like weird.
Emaciated?
Yeah, I mean, his body as a whole looked emaciated.
They would look flat?
They would, yeah. But this guy, no. He had a great weight cut.
Sexy? Would they look sexy?
He looked sexy. I couldn't wait.
When he took his shirt off, I just
That was the moment for me. It's eye-opening. No, but he had a great weight cut, and he showed it here.
Which means he probably lost some weight.
Yeah.
It means he's not cutting 10 more additional pounds. I know. I don't know why we could talk about the fight. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, not much to talk about there. He ragdolled Peralta, eventually got him to the ground, and just stayed on top, mostly in dominant positions, and mostly full mount. The guy gave up his back out of desperation, and he got choked.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I know Tavares has been finished 3 times by strikes, but I want to look this up and see if there's been more. So, yeah, okay. He got TKO'd by Khabib, but then he got knocked out by Matt Wyman and knocked out by Shane Roller. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there was one before that. No, because he was on like a pretty good tear before that. I mean, the problem with him is, do you think his wrestling is great? He has.
No, he's just got good positional jiu-jitsu, and he knows when to jump on the cranking submissions like guillotines and rear naked chokes.
Absolutely, and that's one of his biggest strengths. His striking is pretty serviceable. It's pretty traditional, kind of like Muay Thai kickboxing style, I guess you would say, but it's nothing great.
No.
And he's going to get caught by any good wrestler.
By any good wrestler, exactly. He's going to be the ultimate gatekeeper here now that he's in featherweight. And if he can keep up with these good weight cuts, he's just going to be a really stiff gatekeeper,
Yeah.
He's going to beat the shit out of any middling featherweight.
Yep. Okay. Sean Jordan defeated Jack May, TKO, round 3.
It was a good fight, man.
Yeah, it was good.
You know,
They got
I was just,
tired.
yeah, but you know, they could have gotten, it could have been a lot worse. They could have
You're
gotten way
right.
more tired. Like, I was
Exactly.
impressed with these heavyweights to go 3 rounds and still keep it fairly technical, you know? Like, I could watch the whole thing and enjoy it.
And it's 2 guys that we didn't think were the least bit technical.
No, and I was impressed. I got to give it up to Sean Jordan because his movement looked a lot better. I'm talking like his footwork and his head movement, you know? And that's what got him in trouble in the past where he'd get countered and knocked out because, you know, he's a little chinny, as we know. Yeah, these are heavyweights and they can maybe all knock each other out, but his definitely, his chin's a little suspect. And he almost got finished. I think in the second round, Jack May almost put him out.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, he kept with it though and took him down and mounted him immediately after that. But in the third round, he took him down. Jack May was tired, and he got in a dominant position, and he just kept raining down blows. And after a while, the ref stepped in.
Yep.
But so Sean Jordan gets a finish.
Yeah, it not much else to say about it. I mean, both guys kind of have this style where, in my opinion, it kind of is like a bit like a Ben Rothwell kind of a thing, where they're like big dudes, can have knockout power, are kind of like grinders in certain ways. I'd say Sean Jordan maybe more so than Jack May, but like they have okay wrestling, okay grappling, okay technical striking. They get a little sloppy when they start landing. I mean, is that pretty, would you agree? There's that style of fighter that only exists at heavyweight. And I would say like Ben Rothwell is kind of you would think somebody like Roy Nelson would be, but then you kind of realize Roy actually has very technical jiu-jitsu. But I think like there's like the Big Ben prototype that is still in MMA only at heavyweight though.
Yeah, because I guess it's the only division you can get away with it.
Just being able to knock dudes out.
Yeah, like he knocks out Brendan Schaub just because he has the power and they were flinging shots, you know. But Ben Rothwell, I mean, what's he really going to amount to? A guy, yeah, you're right. A guy like that is just
and in
they're
any
serviceable
other division,
everywhere, but they're heavyweights, so they have power and they can finish a fight.
Yeah, in any other division, it doesn't work as well.
No. Could you imagine a guy like that at like a lightweight or welterweight? You know, you just get smoked.
That's why these wrestlers seem to do guys with really good wrestling. I mean, obviously, it kind of rules most divisions, but at heavyweight, you know, a guy like that style is never going to be able to handle a good wrestler. That's the problem.
Nah.
I mean, these guys would never be able to handle the elite. You can just watch a guy and know that guy will never be close to being champion. It's a 0% chance for Sean Jordan to ever be champion at heavyweight. But a lot of the lighter classes, it's harder to tell, man. It's really hard to tell. Like, you watch Uncle Creepy fight one fight, and you watch him fight another, and you're like, that guy could easily be champion, especially if you watch his, you know, Johnson fight. But you get what I mean? Like, it's not like that. I mean, he's a higher level guy, but even then, there's probably like, below the top 5 in some divisions, you just look at some of these people and you're like, that guy could never be champion.
Yeah, he's just here. He's lucky as a roster spot. He's just here to he's fluff on these cards.
Yeah, and a lot of these bigger heavy, I see them like it's just stands out clear as day. Like even a Thiago Tavares, you're like, if he had a little bit better of a chin, you never know. I mean, at 145, you doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah. It's like, that's why there's different levels to the divisions, different tiers, you know what I mean? It's like, you do need that.
Yep.
But, it's true. A lot of these guys never be champion.
A fight that shocked me, Tim Boach. I'm on a Boach defeated
my
Brad.
Man, Tim Boach Slice.
Man. And Tim Boach Slice. Oh, God. All right, going against Tiago's brother, Brad Tavares. Beat him, TKO, punches, round 2. Damn, man, that shocked me.
Dude has a penchant for the comeback.
Do you think Brad was out? Do you think that was a good stoppage? I mean, was he done?
Thought it was decent.
It wasn't like a huge questionable one. I don't know if Tavares was necessarily protesting it, but it surprised me. A couple of the stoppages in this night, it's not that you need to see a guy go unconscious, but I thought maybe they could have gone a hair longer.
Maybe, yeah.
I could be wrong.
Unfortunately, we'll never know because, what was the ref's name? Something McDonald. It was like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. He stepped in. So, Bosch with the comeback, man. It was a weird knockout, too. Like, he hurt him in the clinch, and then it kind of sent Tavares reeling, and he's running away towards the cage. Bosch follows him, and then it was like this short punch that dropped him again.
Yeah.
I couldn't even really see it. I only watched it one time.
I guess the reason I say that about this fight was because Tavares has never been finished by strikes. So anytime a guy's never been finished by strikes, it's like maybe let him get hit a little more. Unlike the next fight, where Ross Pearson defeated Gray Maynard round 2 as well.
Yeah, it's
TKO.
like when that guy's done.
Yeah, you kind of knew that was done, even though it was similar where Gray was in a very similar position, actually.
Yeah.
Like up against the cage, on the ground, getting hit after he kind of got dropped. Same kind of thing, except the difference is Gray has a history of having a weak chin. That's a bad position. That's one where I'm like, if that was someone else, maybe I'd be like, let him get hit a few more times, make sure he doesn't recover. Because if you look at the Sam Alvey Tom Watson fight, if one of those shots was to just put Tom on the ground, like if he was to lose his footing, or just like the force was just to put him down, like not rock him any more than he already was, a ref could have jumped in.
Yeah.
And maybe that's kind of similar to that's similar damage that got done in these two fights.
It's weird, man. It's up in the air. It's like any one referee can see a guy drop in a particular way and step in right away. You know what I mean? Even if there aren't follow-up punches, it's like in their mind they saw this guy drop and they looked a little too limp. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's
Gray
like, I'm stepping in.
Little. Gray definitely looked a little limp. With Brad, it's like that could be a guy who's like turtling up, kind of, or like just for. And sometimes guys weather a storm in that situation. And I'm not saying
it's like when you bend your knees and slowly go down and start covering up. That's a lot different from just flat out falling on your face or something, or like just going limp. You can tell when a body goes limp as opposed to when a guy crouches and covers up.
Yeah, and I get a guy not defending himself for a prolonged period of time and the ref being like, okay, you need to defend yourself. You need to defend yourself. That's kind of how I would handle it if a guy was like turtled up and I thought he was conscious, maybe a little rocked, but he was just getting hit. And it's like, okay, you need to defend yourself. And you tell them several times. And if they don't do anything different, you stop it.
Plus Bosch was a hometown guy, man. He's from Maine, I believe. So, everyone was freaking out when he dropped Tavares, and I don't know, who knows how much that could
but can we agree that
make a referee step in?
Boach isn't that good.
No, of course he's not that good. This win pisses me off because it keeps him relevant.
That's what I was saying when I was watching the fights. I was there with Steph, and I told her, I said, I like Tim Boach. I don't even care for Brad Tavares, but I want Brad Tavares to win because that's a guy who has more potential in the division. And I don't want to see Tim waste somebody else's time to fight him.
Waste somebody's training camp and fight night.
It is a waste for, guys like Mousasi and stuff like that, or Jacare. Or could you imagine that if Jacare had to fight Tim Boach now?
They're going to do a fight like Tim Boach, like Francis Carmont or something probably. You know what I mean? I don't think they'll give him a big name. Like, I think the matchmakers at the UFC, they know what they're dealing with here.
They need to start giving guys like that, like new fighters or something.
Yeah. They know Tim Boach isn't going to be anything. Like, look at the way he wins some of these fights. Yushin Okami beat the piss out of him.
I hear you.
Brad Tavares won the first round handily, and he was probably going to go on to win the fight, albeit by decision, but he was going to win that fight.
I know, but you know what they do? Like, when you look at that one guy, oh my God. Why can't I think of his name? Constantinos, or no?
Philippou.
Yeah. And who did he fight? Who did he headline on a fight night fighting? Was it Luke Rockhold?
Luke Rockhold, but he could probably do that to anyone.
What a joke of a fight that was, man.
Yeah, it was bad.
And if that'd be like Tim Boach against Luke Rockhold.
You gotta know
fight night.
You gotta know as a matchmaker, when you're Joe Silver or whoever it is, you gotta know how to utilize each guy. You gotta look at him individually and know how to utilize him and where to put him on a card and who to put him against. That's their job. You don't have him headline against Luke Rockhold, who beats him everywhere.
Yeah.
You have him go against a guy who he might get that flashy knockout against, and it might get some more eyeballs on your product. Costa Philippou can knock people out. He's not gonna knock out Luke Rockhold.
Yeah, no, you're right.
He's going to get the shit beat out of him.
Okay. Ross Pearson, we said it, but there's really not much more to say, to be honest. The first round was a battle of Ross not really getting off and Maynard taking him down.
Yeah.
And
I feel bad
Ross
because
Maynard's back up
Maynard's striking looked good. I mean, it was good enough, and he was using his wrestling appropriately. Like, he looked good.
I think Ross has not looked as good in his Diego fight or this fight.
No, he did not look that good up until the knockout.
Yeah, he does not look as crisp in his striking, and he doesn't look as comfortable getting off. And
he was tentative.
He's holding back, and I think it's ever since he got rocked. He looked good against George, but that is a guy who leaves himself open, who is slower, and who you can knock out and don't feel threatened by his strikes.
Right.
So I think Ross is going to have trouble getting his confidence in his hands and his striking. Even when he's in the clinch, he seems more tentative. He doesn't seem as strong. His wrestling, defense is good, but it's not great. And his wrestling itself is probably just okay. Mm-hmm. He's just not comfortable enough striking as these other guys who just go out there and let it out.
Exactly. Again, not a guy that's going to be champion, but it's a guy who most of us like. Ross is pretty cool, and we'd like to see him move up the ladder in cases like this. So a good thing for him here is he broke that weird streak he was in.
Can he fight Melvin Gillard? Or Melvin Gillard got cut, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he's Melvin Gillard's about to fight for the title in World Series of
Fighting.
Fighting.
Why am I saying that?
Well, it was recent, but what I was going to say was a good thing for Pearson here is he breaks that weird streak of all these fights that don't really propel him in any one manner. He gets a win over. Yeah, Maynard's gotten knocked out a bunch of times, but he's still a name at least.
You know what? You know what I just thought about again, and I brought it up before on the show, but it's something that I always like bringing up when I think about it, and I think it's like so people don't realize it as much as it happens. When you hear Melvin Gillard is fighting for a title at World Series of Fighting, you get excited, right? I mean, that's cool. Like, you want to watch that fight, am I right?
Yeah.
But when you hear that he's fighting on a UFC fight against somebody that's not that important, do you give a shit at all?
The only reason I give a shit is because I think he might knock someone out.
Yeah, but generally speaking, you don't care as much. Or should I say this? Like, John Fitch, I've always liked watching John Fitch fight, so maybe that's not the best example. Ben Saunders, who, by the way, got signed by the UFC again.
Yeah.
No, I love Ben Saunders, but not good idea. Not a good idea.
Nah, he'll get knocked out.
Absolutely, and I like him a lot, but it's a very
he's got vicious
move.
Muay Thai, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
And he doesn't even have the name as say like how you could justify signing Andrei Arlovsky because that dude's a name, but Ben Saunders doesn't even have the name.
How about signing Ben Saunders and not signing Ben Askren?
Yeah, dude, I know they do hypocritical stuff like that all the time.
Sure.
But when you see a guy like Ben Saunders is fighting in another organization, you get excited. Or John Fitch or Polaris, like you care so much more about a Paul Harris fight
when they're outside of the
World Series
organization.
Fighting.
Yeah.
Paul Harris versus Steve Carl, so much more exciting than Paul Harris versus Mike Pierce. To see, I mean, because you're excited for that fight. It's a championship, even though it's outside of the UFC. And
because once they get to that lower tier organization, it's like they're a top dog.
Dude,
whereas
I remember when I was buying shark fights, and it was like Houston Alexander against, no, not Keith Jardine. Keith Jardine against Trevor Prangley, maybe.
Yeah.
And Houston Alexander was on that card. I was so excited to watch that.
Sure.
But if that was a UFC card, and that was like the Spike TV prelims, dude, I'd be like fast forwarding through the parts of that fight probably.
Yeah.
The Trevor Prangley.
That's an odd
Keith
thing,
Jardine.
Like it's like the reverse of guys coming into the UFC and you see what they can do against UFC guys. It's like the complete opposite.
Yep.
Now the UFC guys are getting cut. They're going to these second tier organizations.
And it's exciting to see what they do.
Yeah.
I always love seeing what guys do after they get cut in the UFC.
Hey man, Melvin Gillard versus Justin Gaethje. I mean, you'll watch that.
No, that's going to be a great fight. That's going to be. I'm going to be so much more excited for that fight than a lot of Melvin Gillard fights.
Yeah.
Okay, over in St Preux, Ryan Bader. Bader pretty much was just better. He used his wrestling, and I'm going to tell you right now, St Preux striking looked bad.
Overall, yes. What St. Preux has as a fighter is he's got flashy, like, offensive stuff, whether we're talking about on the ground or on the feet. Like, when he's on the feet, he just throws that. His real weapon that he can use is that clubbing left hand, and he can throw it fast, but that's all he has.
It's even loopier than like a Chuck Liddell.
Yeah. I mean, if he lands it, obviously it could hurt you, but Ryan Bader was a little too hip to that shit.
Like a Randy Johnson sidearm pitcher.
Yeah, he just throws this clubbing left hand the whole time, and that's all he had on the feet. He wasn't putting together combinations.
He doesn't even have a jab.
Nah.
His jab, he punches away from his body.
Yeah, he's very odd in the cage, man.
He literally throws like a little like an elbow extension backhand. This is his. You can see me right. That's his jab. That's his jab. Yeah. And he did it the entire time. I mean,
it's strange, man. And if he gets you on the ground, he's more effective on the ground, but he's also very strange and unorthodox. Like, he'll chicken wing your arm, or he's hit a Von Flue choke. He'll go for leg locks and weird submissions, and it's like sometimes it works, but he's not going to do well in the top tier. You know, it was exciting at first, and he had a good win streak going, but now you get to see this is reality. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Ryan Bader, he did what he did,
and talk about a guy in Ryan Bader who can learn, who can come in with like win through game planning. You really might see Ryan Bader beating guys in ways that, say, a Forrest Griffin, or I don't want to say Randy Couture, but he seems to have a really good handle on how to utilize his skills now more so than he used to.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I'm not as sold as him, like evolving his striking. After seeing that one.
You don't think it looked that
good?
good?
No, not really. He's the kind of guy that is going to use his striking to set up his wrestling. He lumbers in with the 1-2 and then goes for the takedown, you know? It's like if he'll land a big power right, like an overhand or a big, huge hook or something. He's knocked guys out like that, but more often than not, it's the 1-2. Let me put my weight up against you or push you up against the cage or hit that blast double leg and do my work on the ground.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say this. I don't think his literal striking, like his combos or anything, look great, but I do think he has better head movement. He seems to get out of the way of punches a little bit better. He's not as stiff. Yeah. He seems light on his feet, and I'm imagining his footwork's better. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. He's an experienced guy. I mean, that's definitely going to happen, even with just dudes.
I thought St. Preux had, and
wrestlers.
Again, I don't know much about footwork, but something looked weird about St. Preux, too. He seemed very, very flat-footed.
Yeah.
And
he's completely unorthodox everywhere. He has his own style, man. He's goofy. But, and he was because he's so unorthodox, he was touching up Bader a little bit. And
he wore
opened
himself
up some
out early,
cuts.
too, don't you think? He kept throwing these big power shots that were missing.
I couldn't tell how gassed he was. He's one of those guys who was, like, tricky with,
He had a weird cut on his back, too.
Did he?
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he was gassed either, man. I mean, you're right. I think he got gassed, but it was hard to tell later on in the fight.
He's got some of those weird tattoos on his arms. You know how you see some guys, it looks like they're not even tattoos. It looks like that symbols got burned into their arm and stuff.
Yeah, branded.
Yeah, like they got branded.
Yeah.
He's got a bunch of that.
I know.
But I don't know.
Remember our old football coach in ninth grade had that? Coach Ford?
Yeah.
He had one, too.
You're right.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out, Coach Ford. What up? You're over at Sea Mountain right now. What up? Yeah. North Harvard High alum. Football. Yo.
But this fight, on the whole, pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
I'd say. But Ryan Bader did what he had to do. Kudos to him. He's never fought 5 rounds. Kudos to him for staying respectable with his cardio, you know?
Yes. Kudos, Ryan.
So, he wins the fight.
Yep. Cool. Let's go ahead real quick. War Machine got caught. Anything specific about that really...
Nah, just that I thought that Dog, the bounty hunter guy, was being really gross with his tactics to stay relevant. You know what I mean? He had nothing to do with the apprehension, I believe.
Was he trying, do you think?
No, I think he was just sitting out in front of War Machine's house and he was trying to get press. And he kept just spamming that stupid hashtag, like, CMT Dog and Beth or whatever it is, like on Twitter and on social media. Like he was just trying to get his name out there.
Yeah,
he's like, the police can't find someone and it's making major news.
Maybe somebody told him to say
this is my spot.
Maybe somebody from the show
from the network. Yeah. Might be right.
Yeah,
no, but I don't know. War Machine got caught. Apparently he was eating pizza in his hotel room. You know how he got caught though?
How?
Apparently someone made a complaint or called the cops because they saw him assault a woman.
What?
Yeah, like literally, he pushed a woman really hard into a wall or something who was telling him to calm down, or he was in a verbal altercation with. Yeah, apparently he
God, talk about not lying low.
You're committing the crime that you're on the run for.
Yeah,
and get caught for that.
That's stupid. Just oh my.
Would that even be ironic, or is it just
it's just
stupid?
Straight dumb. Other thing, Jon Jones is injured. Will not be going against Daniel Cormier coming up.
Boo.
It's gonna be pushed back, I believe, to January 3rd or somewhere in that time.
So what do you think? Should it have gone back to Gustafsson since it was his fight originally?
No, but I think Gustafsson should be allowed to wait and not take a fight before that.
Okay, I like your thinking there. I agree with that.
Guarantee him both title shots, but it doesn't matter. The order doesn't really matter. And if Gustafsson wants to take a fight in the meantime, he can, but I don't think you should force him. Maybe
Dana White is trying to, though. He wants him to fight Anthony Rumble Johnson, and I think that's messed up.
That's terrible, dude. I mean,
Rumble's a monster.
You know, a lot of these guys have the attitude where they don't care. Rashad Evans has done it in the past. A lot of other guys are like, he's injured, whatever, I'm taking a fight. I'm staying active. I'm making money. Because think of that, too. It's money as well. You know, I don't know how well off Gustafsson is, but...
Yeah, well, it's money on the UFC side, too, and that's why they want to do the Cormier fight, because they see how much attention it's gotten, and after the brawl and everything, they're saying, sorry, Gustafsson.
They already had a fight, they already had, a contract. You just move the contract over.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it not being Gustafsson, but like I said, Gustafsson should be allowed to wait if he wants to.
He should. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, he's not. He's going to fight before then, and if he fights Johnson, that'll be great.
I mean, great fight for the fans, but gosh, you're taking out one of your. Well, you're not taking out one of your contenders, but you're lessening their stock. You know.
I'll say this: the winner of that fight would beat Jon Jones. If Gustafsson does better on the feet or however he beats Johnson, if he beats Johnson, he beats Jon Jones. If Johnson
what if Rumble knocks him out?
Then he beats Jon Jones. I believe whoever's better between those two is going to beat Jon Jones.
You still have Cormier beating Jon Jones?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I definitely.
So potentially all three of these men, not definitely, but potentially you could see a scenario where any three of these men beat Jon.
Yes, Cormier is the one I feel most comfortable beating him. I didn't feel comfortable Gustafsson taking the rematch.
I thought he was going to lose the rematch.
I think Jones would come out a lot better and stronger than he did in the first fight. But if Gustafsson was to beat Johnson, it would probably make me think otherwise. Johnson, I'm not so sure who I would take there, but I probably could lean towards Johnson. But I could also see Jones kind of doing what he did to a Rampage. But God, Johnson is just another level of striker than Rampage.
Oh.
So it's hard to say what I think.
He throws kicks.
As a matter of fact, you know what? If it was Johnson versus Jones, I think Johnson would win. But man, it's like if Johnson got taken down.
I know when you put that into perspective, it's like, ew. What's he gonna do on his back? Nothing.
I don't know.
Nothing.
Honestly, he'd probably be like a 3-1 underdog. I don't know, man. I think he'd have a better chance on the feet than what's his face had, Glover Teixeira.
Yeah.
But I don't know if his wrestling defense would be enough. And then if it was, I think it is, but the chance of him not getting taken down the entire fight, if that's Jones's game plan, is impossible.
And if it's not, do you think Johnson deals with the reach well?
Absolutely. I think that's a small task. I think Johnson's striking is so much better, and we've seen guys get off on Jones before.
I just want to see all three of these fights, one after the other.
We saw Machida do well. We've seen guys do well at times. We saw Glover, who's so slow, land some shots. Johnson is just another level of strikers than and we saw Gustafsson do extremely well. Johnson has more of a reach disadvantage than Gustafsson, but we saw him do really well, against Jones, potentially even beat him.
Yeah.
So I think Johnson's striking, however the fight with Gustafsson goes, meaning if he's beating Gustafsson on the feet and Gustafsson tries to take it down and and Johnson still wins, I think that means I'm feeling confident with him if he had to fight Jones.
All right.
But it doesn't matter because whoever wins that fight would have to fight Daniel Cormier, and they ain't beating him.
Nah.
Daniel Cormier is the best in the division, I believe.
I think Daniel would ragdoll Gustafsson.
Absolutely. I think he would ragdoll Gustafsson, and I think he would have a really good chance of getting in on Anthony Johnson. Anthony has the most danger for any wrestler in that division because I think he has the quickest, most explosive punch or striker. He's the quickest, most explosive striker in the division. So if you're like worried about getting caught, he's the one you have to worry about most.
Yeah. I think everyone else in light heavyweight is glad that Cormier is so old. You know what I mean? 'Cause that guy's a problem.
Yeah, he's not going to be there too long.
No, but he's fighting Jon Jones.
You never know, dude. He might be the next Randy Couture.
Oh, yeah.
But you really never know. He has a similar fight style. He hasn't taken much damage. So we'll find out. Okay, let's go ahead and...
So, next card.
Yep. All right.
We got a twofer, ladies and gentlemen.
Which one do you want to go for first? You want to do the Bisping Lee?
Just do them chronologically, I guess.
Well, but is that chronological?
Yeah. The Bisping Lee one, I think, is on in the middle of the night. Like
middle of the night or early in the morning? Where's it at?
I think here, like Eastern time, I think it's starting at like 1 a.m. or something.
On what day?
It's crazy. Was that a Saturday?
Yeah. On Sunday or Saturday?
I would have to guess Sunday, but I guess then it would say the 24th.
Every time, where's the fight at?
Macau.
China?
Uh-huh.
All right, well, whatever.
It doesn't matter. Go over that one then.
I want to go over this one first because, look, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I was looking at this card earlier. Can we just go over like two fights?
Who's the first name you know, just going bottom to top?
Honestly, no, that's not Andy Wang. And Ying Wang.
Andy!
Okay. Do I know Danny Mitchell? I don't think so. I'd have to click and see. I think I know Brendan O'Reilly.
Oh, come on. You know Roland DeLorme.
Oh, yeah. Where's he?
On the left.
Oh, I do know Roland DeLorme, yeah.
Now, I know Royston Wee just because he's so goofy, and the first time he fought in Macau was weird.
I don't know Brendan O'Reilly. I'm wrong.
You don't know the Badger?
No.
Yeah, I don't know him either. I know Roland DeLorme.
One of these guys, Lipang Zhang, is he the guy who won the Ultimate Fighter China?
Oh, was he one of those dudes?
I think.
7-7. Yeah, because that's who he fought, right? Wang Sai?
Yeah, he's one of those guys. So, and Wang Sai's fighting as well. He's fighting Danny Mitchell, famous Danny Mitchell.
Yeah, point being, let's be honest, they're trying to expand into the Asian market. We don't know these fighters. We're going to talk about the co-main and the main event. Yeah,
Danny Mitchell fought Igor Araujo at the Gustafsson
if it's not Igor Pekrajic, I don't know who he is.
Yeah, I don't know. And he lost, so he's had one fight.
It's a new era, ladies and gentlemen.
Regardless, Tyron Woodley is going up against Dong Yun Kim.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good fight, man.
Wow, is that good? Honestly,
it's really good.
That's a fight where I see Woodley knocking Kim out.
Probably, because Dong Yun Kim's getting a little too loosey-goosey with his striking. Dude, he goes nuts now. I can't believe it. Dong Yun Kim, he used to be that guy we'd watch him, and you know what he's doing. He's taking you down. He's positionally just superior to most guys, and he's going to win that decision. And now he's just flailing his limbs about and getting knockouts.
But can we agree that if you had to say, who does he have a better chance striking with? Tyron Woodley or Eric Silva? Would you go Tyron Woodley? Or do you think Woodley's a little sharper? He's not necessarily sharper. He's just
power, man. Power. That explosiveness and power in the first round is
Eric Silva has
scary
power too.
Yeah, he certainly does. Woodley's scary because that wrestling's behind it.
Woodley's chin isn't great, obviously, but it's better than Silva's probably.
Yeah, now I would say that.
Yeah. So, but you never know.
We've only really seen him get
I'm going to be pulling for Dong. I swear to you, dude.
How often do you pull Dong?
Check this out. I know that sounded like I planned that pun, but I was thinking about the time that we were talking about Dong Yun Kim. We were like, your dad's a dick for naming you Dong and all that shit. And I was thinking about making a bad pun or a callback, and I just said I'm pulling for Dong while I was thinking about doing saying a pun. I didn't even try to say a pun.
You gonna lay anything on Dong here?
Oh man, that's such a terrible. God, he needs to do something about that.
About his name?
Yeah, that's a bad name.
It's pretty common where he's from.
When you're gonna be when you're gonna be a celebrity, sometimes you change shit.
Is he really a celebrity?
Well, yes, he's a
celebrity.
To us. He's a celebrity.
Yeah.
No, don't say he's not a celebrity.
Hey, don't you say that shit about Dong, all right? Dong is well known.
Dong Yun Kim.
People love Dong.
He's a celebrity in his own right, man. maybe not like high-end celebrity, but it's like a comic who's like going to change their name that's hard to pronounce or something. Now, I guess you don't see that in
Like
sports.
Mike Turpin?
You don't see it in sports. I don't know. Still, he probably doesn't know any better.
So
Does he even speak English?
Dong?
Yeah.
Not very well.
There are guys named Dick. Is that their version of Dick?
I mean, that's short for Richard.
Well, I know, but
Dong is just Dong.
Yeah.
So you got Tyron.
What's long for Dong?
Me. I'm long for Dong. So you got Tyron smashing the Dong.
Alex Perry is long for Dong. Yeah, man, I don't know. It could go either way, but I think so. Dong's gonna have to play it safe in the Kim's gonna have to play it safe in the first round.
I think he gets another spinning back elbow, but with the opposite hand.
Woodley?
The opposite. No, Dong Young Kim. That was his last win.
No, he's not. Are you being honest?
I'm being for cereals.
No, you're not.
Nah.
Shut up. Who do you think? Woodley?
Yeah, Woodley's gonna knock him out.
Okay, Bisping versus Kung Lee.
What a weird fight.
How do you see that, man? I have to go Bisping, but boy, do I want Kung Lee.
I'm going Kung Lee. I'm going Kung Lee.
Dude, I am so pulling for... If Kung Lee knocks out Michael Bisping, I am going to celebrate like I haven't celebrated in a long time.
If it was 3 rounds, I'd say decision, but since it's a 5 main event, I think he's going to knock him out.
Okay, I like it, man. I see Bisping using his wrestling here, but boy, does Kung Lee have good takedown defense.
The Brit's going to use his wrestling.
I think he's going to try. And boy, he has a way of grinding. He has a way of grinding guys out and taking them down or handling them in ways you do not see coming, man.
Yeah.
It goes all the way back to like the Rashad Evans fight that he lost, but where he was grappling okay a little bit with Rashad towards the end of that fight.
Right.
And it also goes to the Dennis Kang fight.
When I saw him fight and beat Dennis Kang the way he did, I thought he was going to be like a real problem in that division.
I know.
Because
so
that was
worried.
the best Michael Bisping I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't get that.
A long time ago,
he got beat by Chael Sonnen, but that is a Chael Sonnen who smothered people, and he didn't look... Sonnen did not beat him that handily, I don't think.
Yeah. God, I can't believe that was like 70 UFCs ago.
So he's coming off that loss to Tim Kennedy. He beat the... Oh, that was a weird fight with Belcher. I don't
Beat
know.
One-Eyed Alan Belcher, where they both did nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so... I mean, who do you have? So you have Kung Lee winning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kung Lee.
I have to go Bisping only because it's like the safest thing to say. Betting lines real quick for those 2 fights. And they actually only have betting lines for those 2 fights.
Solid favorite
Man,
is...
now check this out. I believe now they're separating, like Dong is at plus 105. Woodley is at minus 125 here. You can get, that's about the norm there. But it looks like it was very close to even. You see the arrows?
Yeah.
So it looks like at one time that line was even.
Yeah, I think
Damn.
it's moved, yeah.
That's a line you would want to play if it was even. This is a line you'd still want to play. You can get Woodley at minus 120, meaning you put $120 down, you win $100. I would feel really good about that bet. Kung Lee, Michael Bisping, I would stay away from that line. You can get Bisping. You can get him real good. Comparatively speaking, Sports International has him at minus 259. Everywhere else, he's like 3 to 325. So minus 259 is the best you can get Bisping. That's not a great odd, though. Kung Lee, you can get him as good as plus 274, meaning you put $100 down, you win 274. I think that bet sounds better. The way the line is, I would go Kung Lee, but if it was even, I'm going Michael Bisping.
Yeah.
So the betting line definitely plays towards the Kung Lee bet, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. The only other thing I'll say about Kim Woodley as far as betting goes, it could be kind of a dangerous one just because what if Kim survives, gets Woodley tired, and then finds a way to
3-round fight.
Get on top?
3-round fight. You think Woodley's going to gas?
Sure, he could gas.
I don't.
Oh my gosh, he's like the biggest welterweight out there.
Yeah, so Dong Young Kim, master of the gas tank, is going to outlast Tyron Woodley. That's your biggest fear of this fight? That's your biggest...
Yeah, for Woodley losing.
Not getting caught and getting knocked out like he has before?
Woodley? Dude, the only time he's really gotten brutally knocked out is against Nate Marquardt, and that was like a video game knockout. It would have gotten anyone.
Okay, no, not everyone gets knocked unconscious like that. Do you understand?
Anyone can get knocked out.
Not that way. Not by not by a guy who weighs what the hell Nate Marquardt weighs. I'm telling you that Woodley's chin is not elite in it by any means, and being knocked out like that is not like, well, that would have happened to anyone. No, not in that fashion.
I'm gonna have to disagree. You're talking horse shit.
I am not. Oh, shut up.
Look,
Mark
rewatch
Hunt,
the GIF.
Dan Henderson. Those are guys in their prime that took huge shots. John Fitch is taking a beating. Well, no, he did get knocked out. He'd probably get knocked out from that.
But I'm just saying, just look at the GIF just real quick. Just Nate Marquardt, Woodley.
I'll bring it up. Keep talking.
I can't believe how brutal it was. Two elbows going over the top.
All right, people on our live stream. I'm going to bring it up here real quick. We just got a couple comments.
I mean, it's so brutal.
Is this a GIF here? It's loading.
Yeah, that's one of those one. Elbow, left, bam, on his way down. I mean, it's so bad. And wait till it goes from the other angle. If this is a good GIF, this is the greatest angle. Oh, look at that elbow. And then this left. After this elbow, look at this left. Bing! And then, yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. He was already out before the uppercut. As a matter of fact, that elbow knocked him out. So you can sit here and say that anybody would have been knocked out from that first right elbow, but you're wrong. You're so wrong. That combo landing on the average person is going to knock him out.
I don't think he was knocked out after the elbow.
Oh, dude, he was look at him.
He was just ducking his head. He didn't go limp.
With his arms wide open?
He didn't go limp. He went limp there.
He was out.
The left hand put him out.
He was out on his feet. Watch it again. Watch it again. He is on his way down. If Marquardt would have backed up there, Woodley did not know where he was from that first elbow. It was that when he saw stars. And not saying he's completely knocked out, but more knocked out than a lot of people are when they stop it. Look at him. Yeah. Nate could have walked back and Woodley would have just fallen down there.
It's a funny thing, the jawline, man. Just certain spots will get you for a certain person, you know?
Well, I hear you. I understand. I'm just saying, look, I don't think Woodley's chin is amazing, and Dong Hyun Kim does some wild stuff. And there's a good chance. There's definitely a chance he could knock him out, but I think there's more of a chance Woodley knocks Kim out. I think we've seen Kim rocked, and a couple people have trouble putting him out. He's been knocked out before. But I think if Woodley rocks him, it's over. Woodley is going to pounce on him unlike, Eric Silva, or he's going to have no problems finishing it if he rocks him.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about that. We got to talk about the other card. That's pretty much it, dog.
Pretty much.
What, sure, does it do that for you when you hit back? You have to hit it a bunch of times. That's something websites never used to do. You hit back and it took you to the previous damn website. Now, I don't know what the hell it is, but you have to hit back, like double click it really quick. Is that a problem that you have?
Yeah, on some sites.
It is bullshit. I don't know. What is that? Why? God, we watch a lot of online porn. No, okay, let me,
There it is,
yeah,
Henderson.
There we go. Okay, this fight card's actually pretty good. But where do we want to start? I don't really feel like talking about Dariush. James Vick from the Ultimate Fighters fighting a guy, probably a newcomer, Valmir Lazaro. But Ben Saunders is making his UFC return against Chris Heatherly. Don't know much about that fight. I will read some betting odds.
And don't sleep on James Vick. Watch out for that guy.
No, he's cool. I like him a lot. Wilson Reyes, Joby Sanchez, Alex Garcia, Neil Magny.
Oh, remember Alex Garcia? He's that big Cuban kid.
Okay.
His last fight was insane. The first round was so exciting.
I'm sure I saw it, but I'm...
Yeah, you did. Sean Spencer, Alex Garcia. It's the same fight card that Dennis Bermudez beat Jimmy Hedges on.
It was the Hendricks Lawler.
I think... Oh, yeah. Well, no, you're looking at
UFC 171.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, no, I've seen this guy fight. I definitely remember his Ben Wall fight because I knew Ben Wall, and I remember him getting knocked out.
He's just powerful, man. Dangerous dude.
And Neil Magny is like very athletic. He's done okay. He's won some fights, but has not looked amazing.
Yeah, he's a tactician, overall.
Yeah, Neil Magny.
You got to pressure Neil Magny.
Neil Magny has won. Whoa, dude! I didn't realize that dude had 6 fights in the UFC.
I know, it's weird. Seems like he was just coming off the Ultimate Fighter.
He's on a 3-fight win streak. His last one was a KO against Rodrigo Lima.
Yeah. Sergio Moraes had one of the most beautiful triangle chokes I've ever seen on Neil Magny.
On Neil Magny, yeah, I remember that. And he beat Seth Pazinski. I mean, he lost to Seth Pazinski decision, but he's won 3 fights in a row since then.
10 means that's a good one.
Yeah. That means a lot. Sorry. I apologize. Chase Skelly versus Tom Ninamaki.
It's Chaz, okay?
Chaz, yeah. Okay.
That'll be a decent fight.
Yeah. What do you?
The Scrapper. Is that his name?
Yeah. Well, he does. I remember his debut.
Yeah.
Did not go well.
11 fight win streak. And he loses his debut, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The next fight, this is Max Holloway's fighting.
Nice. To the guy that handed Chaz Skelly his first loss.
Yeah.
Mersad.
And he's fighting, where's, oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh. What is this, amateur hour?
Hold on. He's fighting, Mersad Bektik. No, wait. Yeah. And that's the guy who, yeah, you're right. Okay. You got it. That's the guy who beat Chaz Skelly. Okay. I'm getting confused here. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know that fight well enough. Do you want to say anything about the Max Holloway?
I mean, Holloway is always exciting.
We'll let the betting line speak for itself when we get there. I can look at it right now. Yeah, it's a close. Actually, Holloway is the slight underdog. Nice. It's close to even. Francis Carmont versus Talis Litis.
Versus Talis Litis 2.0.
Yeah, man.
He looks good.
Absolutely. Talis. God, I'm getting all. You watching what I'm doing here?
Now you're really getting pissed with your.
How do you navigate on this damn site without getting mixed up? Good Lord. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
It's doing some wild stuff on SureDog.
Yeah, dog. SureDog.
SureDog has gone progressively downhill. I wanted to just open this in a new tab and then.
This is not an infomercial for SureDog.
No, this is an anti. They're not paying us shit. And that's why we're going to throw them under the bus. If they paid us, we would say how great their site is. And I would act like I have an issue with my browser. I would say Chrome sucks.
We're using Wikipedia because SureDog ain't paying me shit.
Okay, so he has a 3-fight win streak in the UFC. The Ed Herman one looked good. And then you realize that Ed Herman is what the hell he is. Possibly the worst fighter. Him and Chris Lieben looked so damn
He
terrible.
dominated Tom Watson completely. Same thing with Ed Herman. I don't really remember the Trevor Smith fight. He TKO'd him.
Yep. So, yeah. He looked good. I don't know. I mean, Francis Carmont should be able to
Yeah, that's a tough customer.
take that down and avoid the submission, I think.
Yeah, he's a big middleweight. Man.
Right? Is that how you see that one going? Francis Carmont?
Probably, yeah.
Taking him down, avoiding. I'm going Francis Carmont. But
if he's smart, he'll take him down.
2 losses in a row.
Yeah, tough guy to finish.
Clearly, yeah. Jacare couldn't even finish him. So, I feel safe going with Carmont here. I think he's going to take it. Let's see what the betting line is. Carmont is slight favorite. 1.5 to 1, and then you have Jordan Main, Mike Pyle.
Ooh, I like that fight. You know what the original matchup was, right?
No, tell me.
Mike Pyle, Damian Maia.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That would have been great.
Fuck
that would have been so good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this fight here, do you want to say anything about this fight?
I just think it's a good stylistic matchup, man.
It'll be a good test for Maine to see how he really is. But
for sure.
Mike Pyle, for a while there, I would describe him how I would describe Donald Cerrone, a guy who looks amazing at sometimes and bad at sometimes. But he went on that crazy streak, got knocked out by Matt Brown, just beat that newcomer TJ Waldberger.
Yeah.
He was looking really good though. He was on that streak where he beat.
Look at his only losses here, Rory and Matt.
He finished Ricardo Funk, Josh Neer, James Head, and then he beat Rick Story in a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Then he lost to Matt Brown, but he's coming off a win. But if you go back here, if you go down enough, when he lost to Brock Larson, he lost to Jake Ellenberger.
Yeah, he's only getting beat by tough, top welterweight stalwarts and guys that can finish, Yeah,
and Brock Larson, that fight was UFC 98. That was, I believe, the first fights like post WEC. I think Brock Larson came from WEC. Mike Pyle did not.
Mike Pyle's one of these guys that can stay in the UFC for 5 years.
Does that make sense that that's post WEC, or is that too long ago? Was Brock Larson
not post WEC?
He never fought in WEC?
Oh, he might have. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It's not,
WEC's been around since, what, wasn't 2010?
Okay, it was the last one, 2010? Yeah, that might make
2011.
sense. Okay, I don't know. Regardless. Mike Pyle, I don't have a prediction here. Mike Pyle's been on a tear. He lost one fight. I don't have a prediction.
I'm taking Mike Pyle.
Okay, let's see what the betting lines are. Mike Pyle is an underdog.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to bet on it.
Jordan Mean is 2-1 favorite. You can get Mike Pyle where you can make $174 off of $100. So that's he's a substantial underdog, enough where if you think he's going to win, definitely play it. Benson Henderson versus Rafael Dos Anjos. That main event is cool, but I don't see Dos Anjos being able to avoid the wrestling or even do much on his feet. He's just like a slightly worse, slightly less athletic Benson Henderson. I think it basically comes down to the athleticism.
Yeah.
He's a less strong, less athletic Benson Henderson in a lot of ways. Right?
Yeah.
He probably has a slightly better submission game. Maybe not slightly. It's probably substantially better.
The striking will be interesting, but at the end of the day, Henderson's going to outgrapple him.
Yes.
He's going to win in the clinch, and he's going to win in the just wrestling game overall.
This betting line,
Benson's
man.
elite. Dos Anjos loses to elite guys. That's his MO.
Yeah, the betting line isn't necessarily close, but it's closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, me too.
Because like Benson, you can get him at minus 293. Dos Anjos it's sometimes he's only plus 226 on Sports International.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Benson's an easy guy to forget about, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, absolute monster.
This isn't a line you would recommend playing, though.
No.
Right?
No.
Yeah, and looking at the other fights, Ben Saunders is a big favorite in his debut. I think they're trying to let him build some steam because I don't think he's going to amount to much. But yeah, he's a pretty big favorite in his fight. All the other lines are so even, probably because they don't have a damn clue. Like it's just guys where they just haven't really found themselves yet. I'm telling you what, though, looking at it right here, August 30th, Dillashaw Barao. Are we done with this? I mean, we both think Benson Henderson is going to probably just win this one and be better. Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on. Dillashaw Barao 2. Looking at the betting line, you can get TJ Dillashaw at minus 130.
Yeah, cool.
This line is almost even.
Yeah. I just, me personally, I wouldn't mess with that one.
Really? You think Barao's going to come out aggressive?
Yeah, I'm still giving Barao that second chance, you know what I mean? Just because I have a lot of respect for the guy. TJ Dillashaw worked him so bad, and we all know what happened, but I don't know.
If you had to play the line, who would you go?
Play the line. Dillashaw.
Okay.
I mean, it's close.
So you definitely think Dillashaw is going to win then?
I think Dillashaw's going to win.
If you had to pick that. So because then even with the line at minus 130.
Yeah, it's like throw $20 on it or something.
If you had to pick minus 130 on Dillashaw or plus 130 on Barao, because those are the best two lines you can get, you'd still go.
I'd still go Dillashaw, yeah.
For me to go Barao, it'd have to be like over 2-1 underdog.
Yeah.
Like I'd have to be able to double my money.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, God. Speaking of, dude, there was this guy last night at the bar. He noticed I was watching the fights. Not many people at the Green Turtles around here watch the fights.
Did he say something dumb?
Yeah, the White Marsh one's much better. You always get a couple tables.
Wait, where were you?
Hunt Valley.
Oh.
So he came up and started talking to me and talking about fights. He's like, "Do you watch? Are you into fights?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm into them." And he goes, "Oh yeah," and he started like telling me about fighters, and I didn't want to like get into I do but then Steph's like, "Oh, he does an MMA podcast," and the guy starts talking to me about it. Well, this is what he says to me. This is just a guy trying to fit in. and be friendly.
Isn't that weird how people do that? They have to say something to like relate or
Yep.
to make you think that they know fighting. It's just such a weird thing when you talk
So
about
annoying.
fighting. It's
So
really
annoying.
weird how guys feel the need to do that.
So look, so
like-
he says, who do you have in this fight? It's starting. I say, OSP, you know, and I don't even know if he knows who that is off the top of his head. So he's looking at it. He goes, oh, you know, he figures it out. And it pops up on the screen. I guess it was minus 180 or no, I don't know. He got something mixed up, man. He read the wrong betting line. I don't know if he got his minus and his pluses mixed up. But regardless, this is what he says to me. I got him too, man. You know, because I'm a gambler and minus 180 at Vegas means you triple your money. That's what he told me. And I had to sit here and not correct him and argue with him and just hear him talk about like fighting and, you know, how he played sports and MMA is like, and dude, it was so.
How old was this guy?
Probably 20, 30, 29,
Yeah.
at least my age.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
losing it. Yeah.
Losing it, dude.
Poor guy.
Needs friends. Not me. I'm not volunteering, but it was sad.
It's like you never went pro, dude.
Yeah.
You know, you're 30 now.
You know,
Sucks, man.
Yeah, he played. Learned a lot about.
Pay your mortgage and shut the fuck
He
up.
played D3. Like that's the thing, man. Some people just really like tell you everything about themselves. Like he played D3 baseball and football. I didn't ask him anything. I did not ask him a single question. All I did was respond
So he was by himself, I take it.
by himself, and he came up, you know. And it's not just like I'm there by myself. I'm there with my girlfriend at a table. I'm not at the bar. And he comes up and talks to me. So it's really bizarre, right?
Yeah, no, that sucks.
So after he like yells across the room because we were the only people watching the fight. So I get it a little bit. But then he goes on to talk about how he's like in like D, you know, he played sports. Well, I played baseball and I played football and I played baseball and I played football and it going on about it. And then it comes out it was like D3 and it's like, dude, I don't know you well enough to give two shits about you playing Division 3.
I know, man. That's the kind of guy who like probably gets really, really into
Look,
his work softball league or something.
I'm gonna tell you right now. This is straight up, man. Division 3 sports. I will tell you. I could probably, having not played sports regularly, basketball. I know I could definitely play forward on a Division 3 team somewhere. I also know probably not baseball, maybe first base, but probably not. I probably couldn't play baseball.
That would be a little tougher, but basketball's a different story. You can get away
I
with a
couldn't
lot.
hit worth a shit in baseball. There's no way. Cause
Basketball, you can just be rough and tumble and just be able to throw it up
and
in
I've
there.
played pickup kind of recently, and I do well against guys who play D1, D2. Not well, but I can hold my position.
Yeah, we're playing at work.
Now, on top of that, if you have to go with, by the way, we're probably done talking MMA. We're probably going to talk another 5 minutes. If you want to cut it off, you can.
Yeah, if you don't like us,
That's
you
it.
can turn it off.
Done with MMA stuff. Going to talk freely. Whatever. I would imagine something like Division 3, probably not wrestling, but you never know. I think I could learn it quick. I'm a strong guy and I'm a big guy, and heavyweight is a weak division, especially in probably Division 3. I don't know. I could probably play it. I don't know how well I would do. I could probably get on the team.
Yeah, I think you can get on.
I think I could get on the team, but I don't know how well I would do. I'm just thinking of people we went to school with who played, and maybe even football. I think maybe football, but maybe not. There's more people who want to play football than who want to wrestle, I think.
Yeah, I'd say basketball is the best bet.
Absolutely. I know I could play basketball. I was good at basketball. I'm still all right at basketball. And if I wanted to go to D3 college, I know I could get on the team.
What else could you? Maybe swimming? I don't know.
No. Yeah. No. Volleyball, tennis,
Yeah?
maybe. I don't know. But I feel like D3 is as easy to get on as like high schools. But think of some of the people we know who played like Division 2 sports who went to high school with us who suck. Like they were like mediocre sports players. Like Garth Grove played football at whatever college he went to. He went to like MIT.
Yeah.
Are they D2?
Shit, I couldn't tell you. Man.
Doesn't matter, but he was no football player, was he?
What did he do? Linebacker?
He wasn't any good, was he?
I don't know. I never really
Average,
watched it.
mediocre at a high school in suburban Harford County, Maryland, that nobody knows about. He wasn't that good. So, I mean, I'm just saying, all right, we're rambling. Nobody gives a shit, but
Is this about that reunion thing?
no, it's
No,
not.
I'm just kidding. Seriously, we should do another one though.
Yeah, I agree. All right, guys. Anything crazy going on with you? Next weekend, man, I'm going to try to be able to record an episode, but we might have to do like a Skype thing on like a Monday. Next weekend, Saturday night, I am going to a hotel in Luray, like after my rap battle. So I have a rap battle Saturday, and we can't record Saturday because there are fights on, so we have to recap fights. And then I'm going to a hotel in Luray straight from my rap battle, and then we're going to go to like Luray Caverns and do some stuff in the town. And I'm not going to be able to record Sunday. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll record Monday or Tuesday if it winds up working. If not, we might. The following weekend, you might not be here, right?
The only time I'm going to be unavailable in the foreseeable future is around my birthday, that weekend of September 5th, and there is a fight card then. It's that Jacare Mousasi one.
But let me look at something real quick.
Going to be at the beach.
But let me look at something real quick.
I could conceivably bring my headphones and do it over Wi-Fi.
Hold on. No, I don't want it. September 5th.
Hungover.
So we will, no matter what, definitely be able to record an episode the weekend of the 30th and 31st. Mm-hmm. At the very least, guys, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then maybe 2 weeks from there, but I might be able to get somebody who can fill in. You're not able to get someone to fill in if I'm not here because you don't know how, you can't do the post-production or upload it to this, but I can, so I might still record something the week you're gone, but I don't know.
Oh, this is the worst time of year. We got to work around football.
No, yeah, we'll be fine.
On Sundays.
No, it'll be good. It'll make you record early.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, we're rambling. It doesn't matter. Hopefully you already turned off by now. And if you didn't, sorry. We'll be back. Talk to you. Oh, find us on, okay. God dang, I always forget. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Give us a review. Subscribe to us on Stitcher. Even if you don't use Stitcher, just go to their website, do something, click to add favorite list, whatever.
Send Mike a dick pic. Do something.
We're at Color Me Bloody on Twitter. Alex does most of the tweets and stuff, but interact with us. I see them and I get them on my phone and I read them, and sometimes I interact, but not as much. And on Facebook, Color Me Bloody MMA Podcast. Find us, get in contact. And this is true. I've gotten contact from people who listen to the show. We got a couple people on Twitter hit us up. I think 3 people this past week or the past couple weeks hit us up on Twitter that I had never been in contact with. If you're listening to this show, hit us up and let us know, because the thing that makes me the most curious is I'm curious where people are finding it. Is it somebody who knows like me from like the comedy? Is it somebody who is on MMA boards and sees it? Is it somebody through Twitter? How are they finding us, and how? Because I want to know what is the best route. Is it through Reddit, YouTube search? Now that I put the videos up on YouTube, whatever way you're finding it, let us know, because it's really helpful. There is an email, colormebloodymma@gmail.com. You can email us as well. But regardless, get in contact, and it helps me know what promotional way, because you can only do so much throughout the week. So if you're finding it through Stitcher's page, I'll push Stitcher more. If you're finding it through iTunes, I'll push the iTunes links more. If you're finding it on Reddit, we'll do that a little bit more. Whatever it is. Right now, we're kind of just spread out, but you tell us what you hear it in, and then maybe we'll know, well, that's a way to get more fans. So it helps us a lot. So, all right, cool. Bye. See you.